Hello. Um, how are you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for asking. Welcome to my eco series for the game Anno 2070 with Deep Ocean. Quite comfortably, I would quite confidently say, if not the best game ever made, one of the best games ever made. Absolutely beautiful graphics, just everything is right. It's just how a game like this should be. Um, that like I don't know of any games that are close to this. Like SimCity pops to mind, but it was terrible. Um, City Skylines, that's not too bad, but it doesn't have the in-depth. It's a different game. It's like comparing an FPS to this game. Okay. So, what am I going to do? Well, I am going to show you how to build an eco city from the base right up to pretty much, actually, yes. I'm going to build a monument for every single one of these. So the ecos and the tycoons, sorry. I'm going to build, the entire series is going to be building the entire city, all the logistics. Nothing's going to be off camera. If it is, I'm going to tell you exactly what I've done, step by step. Because I really don't want to do anything off series so that you guys don't miss out on anything. So,
at your service.
Guessing that this is going to go up before the Tycoon series, this is your map.
So,
and
you didn't forget the initiative.
Okay, whatever. You've got your three factions. You've got the Ecos, Tycoons, and the Techs. Playing as the Ecos, of course. They all have their unique perks, and in some ways they're the same. You got the Techs with Professor Davey here. You have
Do you need the Eden
Yana
Initiative's help?
with the Ecos, and if I can find them, up there, Mr. Thorn with the Tycoons. Ecos are nice. They drink tea instead of beer, and they're much better. So, let's start off. I'm just trying to think what's the best way to set this up. I'm going to build the city on this one here. Come on. And because I do not want this series to go on for years, well, not maybe not, but I don't want it to take forever. Come on, little ship. And I know there's going to be a question, am I going to use anything from the Ark? I've disabled as much as I can think of from the Ark. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I'm quite sure that... Oh, there's a bit of steel. There's a couple upgrades, but yeah, none of them really affect us just yet. The iron's pointless. I don't know why it's there, but I've obviously been planning to do something. Right click context menu. If you don't have it engaged, you are not playing the game properly. Simple as that. Sorry, I don't know how you play the game without
Additional
it.
buildings now available.
Yeah, thank you, Eve. I honestly don't. It's such a good, useful thing to have. First thing we gotta try and do is offset our current loss of money. It's quite easy to do. Go. Okay, first thing you want to also do when you place one of these, deny ascension rights and bump their taxes up. I'm not going to put it way up there because, well, I'm not stupid. And I want them to all move in. So, we've got some of that. Hello. I'm not going to... I'm going to move all this offshore. This is going to be purely for housing for the time being. The only reason it's still here is going to be all here simply because I don't have the ships or any of that sort of stuff to support it being not here. So off land, I'm going to call it probably. I keep wanting to say off world, but it's not exactly off world, is it? Roads. Sorry. Go away, roads. You have messed up. So basically, there's tiers in this game of evolution. So they're humans, of course. It's 2070 and the world's flooded, so you can see all the humans walking around there. Now, when I say there's tiers of evolution, they don't grow more legs. They don't work faster. In fact, they do sod all except for consume things and give me a little bit of money occasionally, which currently is not enough. Ugh, never mind. So that's really all they do. You gotta produce things to build things, basically. Don't know what's going on there. So, yeah. We are going to need fish because they are going to get hungry. Oh, there we go. Something that you should probably note. See on here, there's 2 bars of that for the, like, dock, I guess. And if we move it away, we get back 4. That actually does affect the speed of which things can be transferred. The more of those, the faster the transfer of goods from a ship to the dock. So we've got some fish. We don't want tea just yet. And we do want a power station because we're on 0 points of power. Now, I will be able to place these quite close because I have optimized rotor blades, influence area -30. That's just a bit of, that's just some cheaper stuff. It means that this area here is smaller. That's basically all it means. Let's get fast forwarding so that we can actually build up some more bricks. There we go. So we've got a little port. Alright, what's next? Well, and you get...
The initiative has thousands of ships like this,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
green tech.
You get them coming around that if you put onto trade here to buy in goods, they will come by and say, oh, you want that? Okay, I'll give you some. So, yeah, I'll buy in some of that for the time being. And price, quantity 50, what's that? 27. That's okay. We got money to kill.
And everything.
Are you glad you came here too?
I told you we'd make it.
Oh, really? I never met you before, so how you'd know whether or not I told you anything? A bit of a trick that actually I learnt from another person. I am not going to take credit for this actually. NSN, look him up, excellent guy. Makes some excellent videos. Actually, pretty much taught me a fair bit of what I know about this. Build them to this format, so 3x2, and you'll never ever ever have an issue with any of the blocks. Ever. The only problem you'll ever have with it is having really long monotonous roads, which is easy enough to break up anyway. That's the only problem you'll ever face with this. Otherwise, if you don't build it like this, I don't know how you build them. You end up with really strange looking roads, which ends up being really difficult to manage and really quite difficult to have all your services and that sort of thing get to places. Now Now, they're only going temporarily, so that I can map out more buildings. 2, there we go. And why may you ask that I map them out? Well, I do somewhat like to have some structure to my city, whilst it looks chaotic most of the time.
I told
It's
you we'd make it.
somewhat formatted.
Things just keep getting better in this city, and it's all thanks to you.
Good.
Additional buildings. Now
Aha,
available.
now I have activity. Once you get enough people in, they will start to unlock more things. Thank you, Davey. For example, and you need these things for them to upgrade, so you have to fulfill all these to 100%, or, well, like 80%. There you go. Must be 80% to allow eco-workers to advance.
I think coming here with you was a good idea.
You need to sustain that to be able to do it, because they build on top of one another. So from here on, all the levels will require these 3, and then some for the next one, and then some more on top of that, and it just like snowballs sort of thing. We'll just fill in these. Can we? Yes, we can. So these guys need a concert hall as their amusement, I guess. I know why you want a concert hall. I know why. Because it's an awesome place to go. And yes, I am saying that because, well, I actually do play an instrument and I love it. It's absolutely awesome thing to do. So, these guys are now all in the influence area.
Maybe
This
life
guy
here
will get it
isn't perfect, but
later,
we're
and
getting
these
close.
guys, well, sod them, I don't care. Something else you should note, if we delete this, fast forward the game a bit, you can do it, come on. Oh. Okay, that's strange. They'll probably do it eventually, I don't know. If you take them away something that they've had, food, it's very specific and they'll get moany about it. But if you take away something that they've got, they get all quite upset about that. So once you give them something, make sure you're able to sustain it in the long run, or bring on more factories or something like that to actually be able to sustain that quantity that you need. Another thing to note is I've only got two production lines there. Now these run on a 1:1 scale, so you only build one of them for one of them. Don't go ballistic with them. I've seen people that have, 20 of these, and then they're like, I can't get enough taxes. It's like, yeah, well, there's your issue. It's all of them are just chewing up your money. Because these, every tick, now a tick can be a second, a minute, or whatever the heck you want it to be. Actually, it's probably it's about 10 seconds, I think. Sorry. It costs money. Like, it costs 4 credits per tick to operate this. Now, if you put it into sleep mode, it will operate at a cheaper value. What does this one go down to? -1. Okay? And it will no longer require power, which is good. However, if you undo it, it then requires 4, and it will also take 1 unit of power. This, on the other hand, adds power and costs exactly -23. So what that means is it costs 23 credits per tick to operate. So that's like maintenance, spare parts. It can be really whatever you want it to be. Okay, so let's build some more houses. There we go. Alright, so it helps to have an island just for drinks when you're building bigger cities and, multi-faction cities. It can help to have an island that's just drinks, because, well, there's starting islands. These are your 4 starting islands on this particular map. You can tell starting island has tea, rice, and coffee, and room for a 4th slot. Now, other ones will different ones, and if we go into, where is it? There, strategic map, we can actually go and see what the fertilities are. So say we want, you know, something that has corn. Well, there you go. Those islands have the fertility for corn. And you're required to have that fertility to actually build it. Well, not, you can still build it, it just won't work. So like if you put, where's, just give me one. Okay, there's T. So T is on these ones, 3. If I decide to build my tea farm here, it wouldn't work because there's no tea fertility, okay? The tea won't be able to grow. So, I'm just sort of thinking how I'm going to set this up, because these guys are really heavy on the vegetables. And what else? Hang on a second. Yeah, so these guys are heavy on their vegetables. Yeah, which, that's a, okay, what does that island look like? That is an excellent island for vegetables, and it's got grapes and truffles. Oh, that is an excellent island. It's got some raw materials. No uranium. Actually, tell me, who has uranium? You do, and you do. Okay, I'm going to create this island as my dirty... What the heck? Oh. This is my dirty island, like my production island. This is where I'm going to put all my heavy industry. And this is going to be drinks. Yeah, this is going to be drinks here. I prefer to have that there. Okay, alright. Little boat, where have you been? Control 1. Right, now I can hot control it. Oh yeah. One, 2, 10, that should do just for the time being. Come on. In fact, have
Do you need the Eden Initiative's
yes,
help?
you do. Good. You build that there. And you go down there. Come on. Make it snappy. Now, I'm trying to think what the best way of doing this would be. I don't really need much tea just yet. I'll come back to that in a sec. Alright. Holding down shift will allow you to set some waypoints for your thing. And then we need to... Oh. Bring salvage flotsam to your arc. I want...
So, you didn't from Byard? Do you need the Eden Initiative? Look who's back.
One complaint about the game that does that. It swaps them around when you select. Apart from that, it's perfect. In which case, that's easy enough to deal with. Yeah, I don't need any of that. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to procrastinate anymore building tea farms. Goodie, thank you. Now, you can set it to build them automatically, which will do, you know, a really, you know, wherever it's capable of fitting it. And I've not left enough room for this. Should be better. Now, you can really cut down the area you require for these sort of things by really like optimizing the space. In fact, if you go onto the wikis and the forums and that sort of thing, there's whole pages on just optimizing your production lines, because that's what this game is all about. It's okay. Now, this is what I've found to be fair. Hang on, no, I should really use backspace, not that one. Oh well, never mind. Okay, there we go. So it's all about optimizing your production lines and getting it to run at optimal value. What the heck are you doing way over there? Get over here.
My analysis shows that your quest directives have arrived.
Yeah.
I shall inform your quest.
Thank you. Hey, I've got promotion. What does that
You know
mean?
what? You're one of the pillars of this organization.
Yay! I can now fit more things in. Forest Hill 31, Paradise Bay. That's not too bad, actually. That's a good one. There's been a few dodgy ones. However, the weather be weather. Something to note is it takes time to transport things. So, having it close to a depot makes it faster to produce. You are sinking. So what you do is you have these as optimally placed as possible. So these are fairly good. It won't worry about optimizing this piece here just yet, because there's really no need. So we just got some tea coming in. What have you got?
Don't touch anything. Everything in here is sterile.
I highly... Trenchcoat has turned up. Trenchcoat is another guy that you can trade with. He's only around for a short amount of time. He does sell some pretty rare items. What the heck? Like that. That makes... that is very, very... Elboto, get up here. I like the idea of that.
How's it going?
And then he's got tea optimization. Oh, that's just fertility. So they are seeds. That you can tell what it is by the little sign down the bottom. That is an island plugin. That is a vessel or a ship or plane or whatever. Plug-in. Come on. Everything here is more expensive than elsewhere, but you'll find different things. If you really want to make some quick bucks, buy things cheap at the other guys and sell them here. He'll give you a really good price for them.
No guarantees. Good deal. Everything ship shape?
Yeah, whatever. I'll just buy all that.
Deal.
So see, that was 2,000, whereas before I bought all that stuff for about 1,000. So he's quite more expensive, but he has better stuff most of the time. And if you press this on each of them, see, there's another. It's an offshore substation. Please tell me I didn't just buy an offshore one. Oh, that's good. Okay. Just,
Your services in this matter are indispensable.
Find 3 missing people. Okay. This is fine at the moment. And it does have a timer attached. Okay. This is fine now. You can see him. But once you have a city of like 5,000 citizens, and it's the entire size of the island, and, the quest is find Timmy. It's like, where do you start doing those? So, it gets harder to do, and you'll get things from it and that sort of thing. Architect track down what? And see, you always really wonder what's been going on with these people. Come on, get over here and give me that. Oh, that's why. No, I keep pressing the wrong button. We're out of fish. That could be a problem. It's okay, use the pipette tool, because it is wonderful. And we'll build a few more. There we go. So we got them. Come on, offload. And what else do we need? you can see these here. That means something's wrong with it. In this case, there's no more room. Sorry, for this. So basically, you can just go shift space, and that will turn off all of that that production on that island, just on the island, which is really useful. Okay, so let's build some more houses, get our population up a little bit more. And I just shot myself in the foot with that. I'm not going to do that. There we go. And you can really sort of experiment, like, this may not work all the time. I've not found a way it won't work well. Although I can think of ways, like when you're tracking around the side of a mountain, it might not work. Things like that, it may not work as well for. So that's when it breaks down this sort of technique. That way or that way? That way. And you'll occasionally have things like that, which is a double road along that edge. There. Nothing really you can do about it. There's not really anything that will fit into there. Let me think. What else? I'm trying to think what else I'm missing. Okay. There we go. And I'll turn you guys back on. We're still low on fish. I'm worried about that. Speed it up. Give me some numbers. Yeah, see, I'm concerned. I'd prefer for those numbers. It is going up slowly, but I'd prefer. I'm gonna give it a kick. I'm gonna give it a kick and yash. Because I do not want to operate in that slowly. Okay. How much tea have we got? Oh, we got max. Which is 50 tons. Oh, we could do with more. And again, if we don't need this now, we can just turn these farms off. And if we really want to, again, use delete Auckland. Okay. If we want to, we could just go like that. These require 0. Like, that's free to run. They'll just sit there, no problem at all. It won't do anything, but but we've allocated out the space, and then as soon as we go, aha, we want that. Okay, all right. Set that up, and it will pick up those 3 fields aren't being used by any of these 3. Okay, right. All good. I'll use them. And it will always do that. It'll pick up to its maximum. Now, something to note is, I'm going to just modify this one a little bit. This one here has 3 out of 3. Putting down a 4th field for that one does nothing. It is absolutely useless. You can put them in there to make things look even, but it does really, like, it doesn't benefit you in any way. It's not detrimental, it just takes up space. So, yeah. Thorn, what are you doing with your very large ships? This is your diplomacy screen. It will...
Out with it. What's up?
Just a moment.
Where you can talk to any of one.
I know you.
Yeah.
And what do you want?
Look who's
What
here.
brings you here?
So you can take out a
A
loan
suggestion?
with them and, you know, get money. You can demand a quest. You can
Speak.
lobby him so you get more influence. By getting more influence, you unlock more things with all of them.
I am very...
And then you get, you know, a bit of a example of what's going on. There you go, you can tell how good I am. Well, not technically, but you get the point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go new trade route. And you'll find that actually with your drinks, you'll always have one boat running one type of drink all the time to what's the best way? You'll always have one boat for each of your like drinks because they just go through them so darn fast. Which is nothing to worry about, of course, but they just go through it really, really quickly. So this guy is now on a trade route, and he'll go and automatically go backwards and forwards. Pick up 40, and nope. I actually just want to go over there because I don't want you to actually drop off the tea. I'm gonna block him from having drinks just yet. For the simple reason that I don't have enough stock build up, I guess, really. I don't know. So we're gonna build this back up so that we have enough. And see, that's the reason why. We're down to 1 ton of tea, you know. Sorry, there's something in the back of my throat. So that's going to keep going backwards and forwards. That's good. Let's build some more houses. There we go. Not there. Something I probably should have done this earlier, really. And not right now, but put these sort of thing, because they're expensive to run. Well, they're not the most expensive, they're very cheap, but put them on the side that you're going to expand into. So as you can see, I've put that there because I'm going to fill up all that area. If I was to say put this over here, well then that's useless because I can only really use half of it. Right, and it's got only got a maximum influence area. That's that white line. So what now I do is I go over here, and if I hold down shift, I can see the influence of all the others, and I can then go, all right, I'm going to place it there because that's going to influence the most amount. Going to build another town. What the heck is going on with that? Go and just expand. Might need to go one that way. Oh, one out. The biggest issue you'll probably have is you'll get one of these in the wrong spot and you go, oh, it's okay, I'll just delete it and move it around. And then all of this falls to pieces because these guys have to. The houses start to fall apart. Like, they simply break, right? If they don't have access to a town hall. Not a town hall, like a, what are they called, actually? A city centre. Centre. Words. Not working. Whatever. You still lugging tea backwards and forwards? And yes, he is. Good. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want fish. I want tea for the time being. Tea for the time being. Right, there we go. So I got 50 tons of tea.
Maybe life here isn't perfect, but we're getting close.
Am I still out of that? Oh. Hang on, I've completely forgotten about basic stuff. I'm just going to leave that up there for the time being. It's easy enough. You, I would like to pause. Pick up them and go up to Thorn and drop them off. Thank you. In the meantime, these guys are going to be allowed tea and watch the taxes go.
I think coming here with you was a good idea.
Have you completed the quest satisfactorily?
Yes.
Your value to the company.
Thank you. Right. Now you come back here. Actually, no, you go back onto your trade group. Oh, look at that. Okay. There we go. What some of you might ask, what makes this game, you know, so good? It's musical pieces like that piece that was just played. Like, awesome pieces that, yeah. You try thinking of a game that has all of them sort of pieces, just, you know. But none of the thing about them, like, yes, you might find them, but they're not intrusive into the gameplay. You're just sitting here like, oh, that was a cool piece, but only after that piece is played. So it's all that sort of thing, and it's really, really quite good. So
Need for community.
these guys are all now having a hoo-ha. And there is a guy over there having a hoo-ha about something else. What are you upset about? Aha, well see, he can't have access to a road. That's okay. I'm going to build you a special little road.
Is there anywhere worse than this on the entire planet?
I'm sure I can find a spot for you if you really want one. So now these guys have everything satisfied. Yeah, let's find a guy. Okay, perfect example. Everything satisfied. He's paying his taxes. I can make him pay more, but they won't move in. If I drop the taxes and speed it up, the arrows arise. Now, here we can see how many we've got, and if we don't lock that, these arrows won't turn up. They would just, you know, upgrade themselves by themselves. So once we got a couple, we'll just go around. Yeah, that'll do, and we will upgrade them.
New population class.
There is nowhere in the world as beautiful as here.
Oh, really? So the next level are eco-employees, and something to note is when you get a new level, they will only pay the minimum required taxes. Okay. They'll only pay the minimum required taxes, and that's all, you know. The important thing is they unlock more things. So here we unlock a few things, and then they unlock their tier 2s. Now, tier 2 is a very special tier because it's the most reliant tier, sort of. I guess that's the best way to say it. Everything you require for tier 1 is still required. It's, you know, still very, very heavily used. But the things you'll go through the most will come from tier 2. The things that... Take this with a grain of salt, but I find them tier 2's the most useful. You know, they have the most upgrades. You know, you don't have to expand them so far off to get things. You get clay walls, all that sort of thing, which is really good because originally you didn't have that, and you get the pipette tool, and you'd be going at the side of one of these to try and pick up the clay wall, and not the actual come on. I don't know. You'd be pipetting here all day long trying to get the clay wall off it, and it wouldn't work. So now they've got a button for that, which is really good. I'll just finish off that block. Yeah. No. There we go. So now we've got a bit of tier 2 stuff in here. Their food now requires 2 different foods. So as you can see, it does expand, and it gets much, much bigger. So let me just get a bit of a funky view for the finale. There you go. That's a decent little view. There you go. So I'm gonna have to put a cut here because I can only render reliably about 40 minutes of this sort of graphical level. I like to just sit here with this running like this, you know. Oh, that's my screensaver, for goodness sake. So I like it that much.
That hologram is making me dizzy.
Okay. I'm gonna have to leave it here. Next episode we're going to be going over tier 2 and expanding upon this city. Some more logistics, actually, you know, having a fleet instead of just having the one ship that's scurrying backwards and forwards madly. We're going to set up the Dirty Island production and a few other bits and pieces. So I'll see you guys next time.